Jacques reports Miami quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, wideout Jalen Waddle, and corner Xavier Howard are all expected to play. Saints quarterback Jameis Winston and wideout Michael Thomas both missed practice again today in London. Winston with back and ankle injuries, Thomas with a foot injury. The Saints play the Vikings in London on Sunday. The Yankees are off today, but Aaron Judge has 7 games left to set a new American League home run record. The question is, should 61, or wherever Judge ends up, be the major league record? Baseball Hall of Fame broadcaster Bob Costas.
It's not a question of morality or criminality, but it is a question of authenticity. And to one extent or another, what McGuire, Sosa, and Bonds did was inauthentic.
Bob Costas on Greeny. The PGA Tour has filed a countersuit against LIV Golf in response to LIV's antitrust suit.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We got a ton to get to. Ryan Clark here in about 15 minutes from right now. Zach Blackerby from Locked On Auburn and Auburn Sports. He'll be with us in hour 3 to preview the Auburn Tigers. And Mike Triplett at 5:15 Central will join us from London to give us the latest on the New Orleans Saints as the Hoodats are getting ready for their game in London. And if you heard there in SportsCenter, it looks like the Saints could very well be shorthanded, so that's where we will begin. Saints were practicing Thursday in London. Worth noting, of course, that practicing on Thursday afternoon in London, but it was actually Thursday morning here in Louisiana Central Time Zone. And yet again, no Jameis Winston at practice. So that is that's the big change, because a week ago, in the last 2 weeks, the Saints have given Jameis off on Wednesday as a rest day, and then he's been limited Thursday and Friday to see what he could do. Well, the big change, of course, a day ago was that we saw the media allowed to attend saw Taysom Hill taking quarterback reps, which he has not done all year, even back to training camp. We have not seen Taysom Hill take any quarterback reps. So the fact that Dalton was taking first-team reps and Taysom Hill was taking second-team reps tells you effectively what you need to know, which is that they are preparing for the likelihood or the possibility, if you don't want to use that strong a term, of Jameis Winston not being available. And that was further validated with today, the fact that Jameis was not at practice and was a non-participant on today's injury report. So the other big news, obviously, is Michael Thomas was not available at practice today either, so we'll get into that. Let's just run through the injury report real quick, and then we'll let you hear from Pete Carmichael. Dennis Allen does not typically speak to the media on Thursday, so offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael did, and he was peppered a little bit about Jameis and all that, so we're going to get to that in a second. But Paulson Adebo, Alvin Kamara, both limited Wednesday and Thursday, so no change with those two. Marcus Davenport was upgraded to a full participant, as was J.T. Gray and Traquan Smith, who was a full participant on Thursday as well after being limited on Wednesday. Deontay Hardy remained limited. Taysom Hill also limited, as was Marcus May. Jarvis Landry, great news, went from not practicing Wednesday to being a limited participant on Thursday. Andrus Peat also upgraded, did not practice Wednesday, was limited on Thursday. He's got the concussion. And then Ryan Ramczyk, who had a rest day yesterday, was a full go. Or I'm sure was limited today, but had a rest day on Wednesday and was limited on Thursday. So the other news that you see there at the bottom of the injury report is that Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas each did not practice. So let's hear from Pete Carmichael about Jameis. Here he was talking about Jameis missing practice on Thursday there in London.
Yeah, I think that they're just making what was the best decision for him today. And then obviously, there was a plan last week kind of where he was going to be limited throughout the week. And so we'll just see where we are at tomorrow. But it was just part of the plan as the day unfolded.
So the follow-up was a clarification. If Jameis, again, remember, there's Pete Carmichael telling you that was part of the plan. So saying, was Jameis not practicing Thursday? Here's clarification, part of the plan. I
think the plan was just kind of see where he was at day to day, and then see if we could get him out there. And so hopefully, that happens tomorrow.
So the questions obviously transition to Andy Dalton. If Jameis is not able to go, how much confidence do they have in Andy Dalton?
Well, absolutely a ton of confidence in him. That's why he's here, and he's smart. He gets in and out of the huddle. He knows what we're doing, what the plan is. So a lot of confidence in Andy.
And one more from Pete Carmichael. It's how much does the offense change with Dalton as opposed to Winston?
Well, I think as we're putting the plan together, I think that every week we meet at the end of the week when the plan's done and just kind of see what are they comfortable with. And so if there's certain plays that one's more comfortable with than the others, then we'll go with that.
One of the things Pete Carmichael also said is that the game plan doesn't change based on who the quarterback is, and I believe him. Your offense is what it is, and the quarterback is expected to run the offense. Now, one of the things he said there in that soundbite was you may have certain plays that a quarterback is more comfortable with. That's very common. Sean Payton would talk about that often during his time in New Orleans, where he would sit down and say, all right, tell me the 8 plays, the 10 plays, or tell me the 3 plays in this situation which you're most comfortable with. So as a play caller, you become comfortable with the guy, with the trigger man, knowing, all right, in this situation, all right, 3rd and 8 inside the red zone, he likes this play, and so are these 2 plays. So you look situationally at that. So all that makes sense. I believe very much that if it's Jameis, if it's Andy Dalton, the game plan doesn't change dramatically. Now, if it were Taysom Hill, the game plan changes dramatically because of his skill set and what he's able to do, and the fact that he hasn't been playing quarterback at all this year. I mean, remember, notably, he put on weight again. When he was last offseason, when Taysom was trying to win the starting quarterback job, he cut weight, he got thinner, he worked more on throwing. This year, moving full-time into his Taysom role, tight end, however you want to say it, he bulked up again. Taysom Hill looks like a different player right now than he did a year ago physically. So, yes, the game plan would change if Taysom were in there. But again, Taysom most likely in this situation would be your emergency quarterback, your backup quarterback, if something were to happen to Andy Dalton. Now, I'm being presumptive, assuming Jameis isn't going to go. But we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, y'all, whenever they signed Latavius Murray. And
Murray, prison.
And what we said then was, hey, look, actions speak louder than words. I don't care what you're telling me. Let me see what you're doing. And when Alvin Kamara was injured and not practicing, and you went and signed a running back who had great familiarity with your system and you with him and all that sort of stuff, it told you there was a pretty good possibility that you were at least preparing for the possibility of Kamara not playing. And, of course, Alvin Kamara didn't play week 2 in that game against Tampa Bay. So it's the same thing here. I mean, the fact that Jameis isn't there now Wednesday, Thursday, not only that, but you're also repping Taysom Hill at quarterback, tells you they're preparing for the possibility of Jameis not being there, Andy Dalton starting, and Taysom Hill being the backup or the emergency quarterback option. The biggest question I would have is if Taysom Hill is the backup quarterback. Do they have the Taysom Hill package in the offense? I mean, that was the thing, if you remember, 2 years ago when Drew Brees got hurt and Jameis Winston went in as the backup in the game that Drew got hurt, and then Taysom started the next week. Well, all during game week, they had repped Taysom in his Taysom Hill role, and Jameis was repped as the backup quarterback. So that's why when Drew went down in the game, Jameis went in at quarterback because Taysom had repped all week in his Taysom Hill role. So my question is, if you have Taysom Hill this week repping as the backup quarterback, is he also taking reps in his Taysom Hill role? We didn't see Taysom last week. He didn't play against Carolina. And he's been limited with the rib injury. So are you going to risk a limited Taysom Hill in his role, his do everything role, his Swiss Army knife role, when he's your backup quarterback? Because if, God forbid, this happened, but you have to prepare for all of these possibilities. If something were to happen to Andy Dalton and Taysom had to go in, well, what if Taysom gets popped, running zone read or something like that, and he's out? Then what do you do? I mean, last year, 2 years ago during COVID, one of the things that Sean Payton was clear about is that Alvin Kamara would have been the emergency quarterback, but my goodness, I don't think anybody wants to see that unfold in a game that's so critical for the New Orleans Saints. But one of the things that I've said since the opener, I think many of you agree, is that look, I am not any less bullish today on Jameis Winston than I was in the offseason as far as what his potential could be. But the guy has a broken back. Like, literally. It's not, God, I feel like I broke my back. No. Like, he literally has a broken back. I slip a disc, and I'm like Loratab muscle relaxers on the couch for a week. This dude is trying to play football with a broken back. So, yes, I am good playing Andy Dalton now until Jameis gets healthy. That is the best path forward, and hopefully they've arrived at that conclusion, and maybe we see that on Sunday morning. All right, much more on that. Mike Triplett will be with us in hour 3 from London. He's going to stay up late. It's going to be 11:15 local time in London when Mike joins us, but he said he's good to do it, so we appreciate that. We'll get to that coming up 2 hours from right now. Right now, we'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk to Ryan Clark as we do every Thursday, courtesy of our friends at DraftKings. Want to remind you about Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. And with Hurricane Ian, obviously it gave everyone a reminder here about Ida a year ago. And if you were impacted by Ida, remember, you have 2 years from the date of the storm to file your claim. So it's not too late. If last year after the storm you didn't file an insurance claim or you didn't have a roof inspection, no worries, it's not too late. And you may not have noticed damage yet, but there's only 2 ways to find out if you have roof damage. Have someone inspect your roof or wait until you have water in your house. And one of those options is better than the other. Don't assume just because you don't see water spots on your ceiling today that you don't have an issue with your roof. You could. It may just be a slow leak or something small that in time becomes very big. Don't let that become the issue that you face later down the road. Just call for that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. HudcoRoofing.com, HudcoRoofing.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see where you can get your free inspection. It'll take you 30 seconds to fill out that form. It's Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Ryan Clark will join us next. We'll talk some Tigers as LSU is ready to head to the Plains to take on the other Tigers. Interesting week also, considering what's going on at safety. Major Burns injured. Joe Fouché back off of his academic suspension. We'll talk about all that with RC when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
AFR. After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. It's time to talk Tigers with former LSU safety Ryan Clark. Presented by DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today.
All right, we do this every Thursday. Very pleased to be joined by former LSU safety, 13 years in the league. You know him, you love him. He's Ryan Clark. RC, what's good, man?
Oh, what's good, man? You know, just me standing in the Southwest line trying to make sure I get to A18 and maybe I can get, Southwest first class, which is the exit row.
Wait, I was going to ask, does Southwest actually have like a first class now? Because I got kind of excited. I've gotten a little bougie as I've gotten older, RC.
Yeah, I just go to the exit row, try to get me some extra space. And, you know, I'm one of those people that sits in the exit row and actually reads the card every time, just because I want to be prepared if called into action.
RC, when you go Southwest, people don't look at you and be like, "Oh, you're Ryan Clark. Okay, go ahead. You got priority. Just go to the front."
No. I will say this though. We were flying to see Jordan play a couple of weeks ago, and there was this dude in front of us, and he's one of the tallest humans I've ever seen in person. And Yank asked me, my wife was like, "How tall do you think he is?" And I was like, dude's probably like 6'8". You know what I mean? That seemed like a good estimation, but he was 6'10". And so he was in front of me, and I was like, yeah, he's definitely going to get, you know, the best seat. The seat was like no seat in front of it. And, man, do you know he sat in, like, the other side exit row. And so when I took the seat, I was like, "Hey, bro, do you want to sit here, man? It's more leg room." And he was like, "Nah, man, I saw you behind me, and I knew you might like that seat, so I gave it to you."
That's so good. I love it,
bro.
man.
It was super cool, bro.
The 6'10" guy. All right, nobody 6'10" is going to be playing football for LSU or Auburn this weekend. How about that transition, radio guy? Hey,
I love it.
RC, I do want to ask about the safety spot because it's gotten really interesting these past couple of weeks. So, first of all, there's going to be no Major Burns for 3 to 6 weeks. Let me start by asking you about Major Burns and the type of player he is and what his absence means.
You know what? I thought Major took a major. Look at that. Major took a major. I thought Major took a huge step up this year. He became extremely disruptive, especially in the run game, and that was from game one on. You know, making big plays on fourth down stops and really being a leader on the back end. And his energy, I felt like, was infectious. And so I think that's a huge loss for LSU back there, man. I was really, just as somebody I worked with in high school and coached in 7-on-7, I was really proud, man, of the progression that he made to actually make himself look like a pro.
RC, is Major Burns better in pass defense or better against the run?
I think he's good in both. I think he's been more disruptive in the run this year, though. Last year he had some turnovers and some different things, and sometimes you can see some of the corner skills that he, really majored in. Majored in high school. In high school, you see some of those things, but I felt like against the run, he had become just a very impactful player, both being a box safety and from the middle of the field or from his zone coverages.
Okay, so it's interesting because sometimes in life timing works out, right? And Joe Fouché, who transferred in from Arkansas, he had been ineligible the first 4 games. Well, now he's eligible. And RC, I'm not sure if you saw him much at Arkansas, but his kid from New Orleans, McDonough 35, he's been a box safety that is just a tackling machine. So in this game in particular, how does that transition work? Where now you'll have Fouché and Brooks, who were teammates at Arkansas, basically as your 2 safeties in this game.
Well, I think one thing, the communication should be natural between those two. It's something that they've been doing, last 3 years. I think that's good. When you have a guy like Greg, who has been impactful physically too, when you look at some of the tackles he's made throughout the season already, you maybe can use him more in the deep part of the field and allow Joe to be in situations and be in positions that make him comfortable. He's a thumper, and he always has been a thumper. He was that at McDonough 35. He was that at Arkansas. And so it's not necessarily that you have to protect him in the open field or in the deep part of the fields. It's about not making a player do things he's not comfortable with. And so I think having those contrasting styles and skill sets of those 2 safeties kind of helps you as a defensive coordinator figure out what you want to play, how you want to play it, and where you want to have those guys as far as the X's and O's are concerned.
RC's with us every week, courtesy of our friends over at DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. RC's heading to LA, and I want to ask about the game you're going to see on Saturday night. But I do want to ask about LSU's offense and how much progression you've seen, or have you seen, from game 1 to game 4.
I think it's been a huge progression. I think it's been, we've seen some players step up that coming into the season, not necessarily were question marks, but you didn't know, how much of an effect they would have, how well they would play. And then obviously the quarterback position was one of those positions that was a question mark. You have Jaden Daniels coming in. You don't know necessarily how he'll fit, how he'll be used. But I think when you look at the numbers, the numbers that Jaden has put up from an efficiency standpoint, let's not just talk about or think about, okay, what are the numbers compared nationally on how many yards, how many passes completed, but the number of passes completed as opposed to those attempted, the way that he's protected the ball. I think that's been good. And we've also seen the run game pick up in the last few games. Now, we haven't necessarily played world beaters defensively, especially against the run. And so you want to see how that continues to progress this week. But I think the physicality of the offense has picked up week after week after week. And I think that's an identity thing that I'm sure Brian Kelly wants this team to have.
RC, by the way, you mentioned Daniels. There's only 6 quarterbacks in the country with more than 100 pass attempts yet to throw an interception. Jaden Daniels is one of them. He has been super, super efficient, to your point.
Well, and I think, and I spoke about that early because I was like, hey, for people who don't want him to run or get tired of him running, he's probably going to run it before he puts the football in harm's way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how he is. And I mean, I think it's, we develop kind of these thoughts in our head or perceptions or biases, and then we want to stick with them where, if you're through 4 games and you have a quarterback who hasn't turned the ball over, usually you're pretty darn happy about that.
It's been an incredible bridge, no doubt, to the younger guys, giving them a chance to watch and learn. Hey, real quick, you played at Auburn twice. Memories of playing there? Memories of this series?
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest memory, and I'm sure you remember this. Do you remember when they came down and beat the absolute brakes off of us that year?
And that was 99, the cigar game, yeah.
Yeah, they smoked cigars on that. Was pretty harsh, man. I remember there was a big fumble created by Fred Booker, and there was this guy that wore number 2 at LSU, and he just could not pick the freaking ball up or land on it. It was really difficult. And then I remember, man, Tim Carter. We're playing, at Auburn the next year. Tim Carter goes for 100-yard return. And it was just, it was like always something with Auburn. But the coolest Auburn memory I have, and, it's 2001. The game is canceled, unfortunately, due to 9/11 and that tragedy. And we play them, at the end of the season when we had an opportunity to go to the SEC championship. And there's a play in that game where Michael Clayton, who ended up being an All-American wide receiver, first-rounder, played safety. He almost kills a guy. Like, legitimately almost killed him. Like, I thought he took his life. No, I'm just being honest, man. Like, it was scary. Like, it was the first time I felt sorry for somebody else on another team.
Was that – I think he was covering a kick when he split.
It was a kickoff, yep.
Yeah, he split that guy in half. Clayton was awesome to watch, man. What a fun game.
Oh, it was so amazing.
And RC, in that game, of course, the LSU band got in a fight with the Auburn kicker at halftime and probably included the drum major. So I went back to the major.
I like that.
I went back to the major.
That.
The major
I see what
thing.
you did there.
Yeah, the major.
Hey, this is why you win all the awards.
No, that's why I embarrass myself regularly. Hey, you're gonna be in the Coliseum tomorrow, man. That's freaking phenomenal. Arizona State, USC. You got a thought on that game?
Yeah, pray. I'm just gonna pray for Arizona State. That's what I'm gonna do. Man, it's like one of those things, man. Like you just go. Like I honestly. And this is probably a bad thing. I really don't care if they win or lose. You know what I mean? Like, I just go to see my kid.
Yeah.
I want my kid to play extremely well, and I want him to enjoy it and have fun. It's obviously been a tough year, the sanctions in the offseason. You lose defensive coordinator, you lose your DB coach and other coaches who are very important and prominent on that staff. And then now, obviously, Herm is gone. But there seems to be a lot of renewed kind of excitement, around Coach Iguano. The school's excited, to have kind of a change. And there was energy last week. They were just playing Utah, and they just aren't good enough. They can't block them, And so, but you go out this week, and you're going to play, Caleb Williams, one of the best in the country. Obviously, all of these great wide receivers. And so it's going to be fun to go watch them compete. For me, I'm going to go hang out with Troy Polamalu, his family. He's USC royalty, so maybe they'll treat me a little better than I would on my own.
We'll all be – listen, I'll tell you this much. I'll be watching for number one in the Sun Devils uniform on Saturday night. Looking forward to seeing that after the LSU game. RC, safe travels, man. Thank you so much for making a few minutes.
My man, appreciate you, brother.
All right, that is Ryan Clark. We appreciate RC, as always, for jumping aboard with us. Again, hopping a flight to L.A., so you could tell he's in the airport, but good enough to join us. We appreciate our friends at DraftKings, of course, bringing us our conversation with RC every single Thursday. The DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge. We appreciate DraftKings for bringing that convo with RC every Thursday here on AFR Talk a Little Tigers. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC. Fantasy Blitz in 15 minutes. A week 4 of the NFL season getting kicked off tonight with what should be a good one. The Dolphins and the Bengals. Darin Tietgen from whotostart.com. He'll be here in 15 minutes, so you can start lining up your fantasy questions right now. Get them in. Email us, tweet us, text us. Lots of ways you can get your questions in for Darin Tietgen. Who to Start coming up in 15 minutes. Around the SEC is next.
AFR.
Boy, when you went outside this morning, tell me you didn't love that weather. It was about 53 degrees, somewhere in the 50s. Gorgeous. Fall is here, y'all. This is an awesome time to go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery, to get in the garden, to just plant something, the fall bedding plants, your fruit trees. This is the time to do it. Maybe it's just go get in the garden and pull some weeds, put down some new mulch to just spruce up that outside area. Man, it's Clegg's Nursery. They got you covered. Again, all of your fall decor as well. If you want hay bales and pumpkins and squash and gourds and scarecrows, corn stalks, they've got them. If you want to decorate indoor or out, the front porch or patio, Clegg's has got you covered with tons of fall decor. It's at any of their 4 locations. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Deer hunters, remember, they got rice bran and mow bucks and buckbusters and all the stuff you need as well for those plots at any of the Clegg's Nursery locations. Buy local, shop local for more than 60 years. Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you. Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, glad to have you aboard with us here. Thanks again to Ryan Clark for joining us. Hour 3, we'll preview Auburn with our guy Zach Blackerby from Locked on Auburn. And Mike Triplett will be here at 5:15 Central, his normal slot. That's actually 11:15 p.m. in London. But Mike was like, "Yeah, I'll be up. You join me? I'm good." So we'll talk to Mike coming up in about an hour and a half from right now. A little more than an hour and a half from right now. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. LSU's headed to the Plains. It's obviously been a tough year. Even though Auburn's 3-1, it's not looked good. The one was a dreadful beatdown at the hands of Penn State on your home field, and then one of the 3 was last week's close call against Missouri, who themselves are dreadful. And Brian Harsin's future has been called into question. There are many who wonder if he will make it throughout the season. My belief is it would make a ton of sense if Auburn loses this week to LSU, next week to Georgia, the following week at their open date. It would make sense to make a move then if that's what they plan on doing. Well, former Alabama quarterback A.J. McCarron, who does a podcast on The Ringer called Slow News Day, earlier in the week, actually earlier yesterday, A.J. McCarron thought he was going to be Woodward and Bernstein and break a little news.
There's so many coaching changes going on in college. Guys really don't get a whole lot of time. I mean, you look at Parsons, for example, from what I'm hearing from my sources over there, is Parsons already been told he's done after this year.
2 questions about that. Number 1, do we know, was that after the Penn State game that he was told that? And 2, if you're Auburn's AD, and that's not something I wish on you, how do you fix that program right now, AJ?
Well, the Penn State, from what I heard, brought a ton of disappointment. Sure. It's not the fact that they lost, because Penn State's ranked in the top 25, but it's the fact that the way they lost, it was a bad loss from them.
So A.J. McCarron went on to talk about why Auburn's not a great job and all the sort of programming. There's a lot of Bammer shining through him in that. Auburn is a great job. It's Auburn has a lot of their own internal issues, clearly, but resources, tradition, history, all that stuff, you can win at Auburn, and that's why it will be a desirable job. But McCarron went as far as say, as you heard there, that his sources had told him that Harsin's already been told that he will be fired at the end of the season, will not be back. AL.com and other credible news outlets are reporting today that is not exactly the case. Are reporting that no such thing has been said to Brian Harsin. And it comes back to the question of, well, who do you trust has good information? And it's something that we talk about often here. It's the catch-22 of the digital media age. It has created a zero barrier to entry, which is a wonderful thing, because people who otherwise would have been held out because of the gatekeepers, the traditional radio and TV outlets, determining who has a voice, that's been crushed. I mean, a guy like Pat McAfee, for example, Ryan Clark with the pivot. I mean, it's incredible that you're able to get content and distribution. Anybody can, and anybody can win. But this is the unfortunate other side of that, is when you're out trying to break news, or you're being irresponsible with information, you're not validating information, you're not sourcing, double sourcing, triple checking information before you go public with it, you create a mess. And that's what A.J. McCarron did in a sense here. But it's consequence free. So I'm not sitting here bemoaning it. It's what it is, and you're not putting the genie back in the bottle, nor would I want to. The one thing that I just try to stress often is just consider the source. Be mindful of where information is coming from to determine whether or not you feel like it is good information and worth giving credence to that information. All right, we're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. We're going to go around the SEC in just a second. Michelli.com, 29 offices across 11 different states. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. They are hiring. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lake Charles, offices all across Louisiana. You can go to the website, Michelli.com. You can hit the careers tab right there at the top, and you can apply for the job that you're looking for. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. They are an ISO 17025 accredited laboratory. For a list of all of the services that they provide, go to Michelli.com. Actually, someone sent a picture on the text line yesterday. It was sponsors in the field, and it was a picture of a Michelli logo on a scale at a job site. They are the nation's largest distributor of scales, but at Michelli, of course, they also will service all different types of equipment and all different types of calibrations. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Check them out online at Michelli.com. That's Michelli.com. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Auburn Tigers.
Well, TJ Finley will have to wait at least another year for his chance to start against his former team. AL.com is reporting that Finley has not practiced at all this week with the grade 2 AC sprain in his throwing shoulder, and will not play against LSU, which limited his motion. He suffered the injury against Penn State. That means it will be Robbie Ashford and Holden Griner, the only two scholarship quarterbacks available for Auburn this week.
The Florida Gators.
A lot of injury notes there in Gainesville that Billy Napier shared. Senior safety Trey Dean, he is out for this week's game against Eastern Washington on Sunday. In his absence, true freshman Kamari Wilson will get the start. For the third consecutive week, starting right tackle Michael Tarquin. He is not on the team's depth chart, so he suffered a leg injury against Kentucky, has not played since. Jaden Hill, who has not played since 2020 because of a torn ACL. That's going to change on Sunday. Hill will suit up and will start opposite sophomore Jason Marshall. And one more note, quarterback Jack Miller, the Ohio State transfer, still out with the after having surgery for the broken thumb. Jalen Kitna and sophomore walk-on Kyle Engel are the team's backups for this week against Eastern Washington.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And the SEC slate does, in fact, kick off tonight, 6 o'clock Central Time on the SEC Network. South Carolina is a 39.5-point favorite over their HBCU neighbor there, but it's South Carolina State traveling to Columbia for a game that was moved to Williams-Brice on Thursday because of the threat of Hurricane Ian, which is expected to go into the Atlantic and then hit the coastal states like South Carolina. So tonight, 6 o'clock Central Time, South Carolina against South Carolina State on the SEC Network. Gamecocks are 39.5-point favorite. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. You know where to find them, gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products, the official office equipment provider of the Saints, the Pelicans, the LSU Tigers, and the ULL Raging Cajuns, celebrating 45 years in business. They're just the best. It's Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com. All right, y'all, we'll grab a quick break, come back and wrap up hour number one. Darin Tietgen will jump aboard with us, as he's done for about a decade now, as he reminded me at the beginning of this season. Can't believe it's been a decade. But we do our Fantasy Blitz. So if you want personalized fantasy football advice, here's your chance. Before you set your roster, check with the guys at whotostart.com. Email your question, tweet your question at Matt Moscona.
Twitter world.
Thank you, Juice. It's at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat, or you can text your question in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Our Fantasy Blitz is next.
AFR.
And, of course, you got Thursday Night Football tonight, and what better place to watch Thursday Night Football than at Pluckers? Either location, Nicholson, just south of campus, or Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, and, of course, football on TV. You've got Thursday Night Football tonight with Miami at Cincinnati. Joey B on Thursday Night Football in prime time. If you don't have Amazon Prime, no worries. Pluckers does. Get by either location. You can watch the game. For your football Saturdays, they have wall-to-wall TVs. The Bluebonnet location has an 8-foot by 13-foot TV wall. It's incredible. You can plop in one spot and watch everything. It's right there at Pluckers. And, of course, if you're watching all of the games on Sunday, with NFL Sunday Ticket, they've got it at Plucker, so you can watch every game and follow your fantasy team all throughout football season. 2 locations, Nicholson, just south of campus, Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. It's Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating.
Failure happens to us all.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.com.
Who the hell are you?
whotostart.com.
Hello.
The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the buttons?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz, powered by whotostart.com on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 104.5ESPN.com.
All right, let's get it. Week 4 of the NFL season kicks off tonight. Bengals hosting the Dolphins. Hopefully you got Prime Video. Darin Tietgen jumps aboard with us from whotostart.com to answer your fantasy football questions. So before you set your roster, check with our guys at whotostart.com. Personalized fantasy football advice. You can always use the promo code ESPN to get 10% off at whotostart.com. How are you, D?
I am doing good. How are you guys doing today?
All right, man. We're doing really well. Pretty excited about this one tonight, man. Joey B, Jamar Chase, when the Bengals take the field. A lot of people here obviously have an increased interest. So, Dolphins at Bengals, lots of names to know. Who we keeping an eye on tonight?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a real air show out there with obviously Burrow and Chase and his running mate Tietgen. Look for Boyd to also have a good game out of the slot there for the Bengals. And of course, the air show continues on the other side with Tua and his two fast wide receivers, Waddle and Hill, of course. So, look for all the wide receivers to probably put up good fantasy points.
Any sleepers this week?
Yeah, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I actually like Geno Smith at quarterback this week.
Wow,
first. Seattle's run game has been, kind of hit or miss. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game there against Detroit. So if you're looking to plug in, if your quarterback's hurting or just not performing, Geno Smith might be able to help you out this week. A running back we like is Ramondre Stevenson from the Patriots. Looks like Mac Jones is probably going to sit with his high ankle sprain. So it's going to be Brian Hoyer at quarterback for the Patriots. So we're looking to see a lot of Stevenson and Harris out of the backfield for the Pats. And then going back to the Lions, we like Josh Reynolds at wide receiver. Go look at his target share. He's been getting a lot of targets. Looks like Amon-Ra St. Brown is probably going to be hobbled with an ankle injury. He may actually be out. So in which case Reynolds would even shoot up the board even further. But if you're looking for a sleeper wide receiver, Josh Reynolds might be the guy for you.
All right, let's get to your questions. You know the drill. Fire away for Darin. Let's start on Twitter. Keith Walker said who to start. He needs 2 for flex. It's 1 point PPR. He's got ATN, Breece Hall, Noah Brown, and Mooney. Needs 2 of those 4. Who to start?
I would probably play Noah Brown. He seems to be getting a lot of targets from Cooper Rush, and it looks like Rush is going to be the quarterback for at least another week. The matchup's fairly good. So Noah Brown is probably your first flex there. And then I think Breece Hall, he looks like he's going to be getting more and more touches, taking away from Michael Carter. So I think the rookie Hall is your second flex there.
We are big Cooper Rush fans here, as Musso here has learned over the years. Ryan Weber says who to start. He's got Kittle or Higbee. Who to start?
Something's wrong with Kittle. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's still hurt. I don't know if he's just supporting the run game, but he's just not getting the targets that he used to. So until him and Jimmy G get back to their usual selves in terms of the passing game, I'm gonna say that Higbee is probably the safer play.
Eric Robinson, who to start? Rodgers or Tua?
I'd go with Tua tonight. It sounds like that the back is fine, and he's going to be, like we said, there with the opening today for Thursday Night Football is going to be an air show. So I would probably go Tua there.
Brennan Thibodeau, who to start? Mike Williams, Curtis Samuel, Marquise Brown. Who to start?
Man, that's a tough one. All 3 of them have a lot of positives. I think Keenan Allen's going to be back for the Chargers this week, which is going to open up Mike Williams a little bit more. We have Mike Williams as a solid play this week. But like the other 2 guys, obviously Marquise Brown had a ton of targets and will continue to see a ton of targets. But I think Williams is your safest bet there.
Rusty Ferreira said he needs 2 in a PPR league. He's got Herbert, Deontay Johnson, Waddle, and Mike Evans. Who to start?
You're not sitting Waddle, even if he's a little gimpy. That's going to be a huge game for him. And I'm sorry, what was the last wide receiver you mentioned there?
Mike Evans.
Yeah, Evans. Yeah, I would play Evans coming back from suspension. Look for Brady to look his way quite a bit in the shootout with the Chiefs.
Got a couple more minutes here. Darin Tietgen with us, who2start.com. That's the numeral 2, who2start.com. Personalized fantasy football advice. David Nault said, who to start? Kyler Murray or Tua?
Boy, I would probably go with Kyler Murray there. The Panthers are just going to give up a ton of yardage to Murray, and then of course he has the ability to run. So we do like Tua quite a bit, but I think Kyler might be the play there just by a nose.
Nathan Hodge has a quarterback question. He's got Mariota or Trevor Lawrence. Who to start?
We like what Lawrence is doing. He's got a tough test this week. Philly's been fantastic, but expect that to be a shootout, so I think that's in Lawrence's favor. He might take a couple of sacks, he might throw a pick or two, but I think he's going to throw a couple touchdowns too. So I think Lawrence is your play there.
Chris Burke, who to start, Justin Herbert or Aaron Rodgers?
You can go with Herbert. I mean, I know that the ribs are still hurting, but the matchup is good. Expecting a lot of running from the Packers tandem running backs this week against the Patriots. So I think Herbert's the play, even with the bad rib.
All right, two more quickly. Derek Carr or Tom Brady, who to start?
I think it's going to be a bounce back game for Brady. Kansas City is not going to present too much of a challenge defensively. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Brady's your play.
PPR league, Josh Jacobs or Kareem Hunt, who to start?
In the PPR, I think I'm going to go with Hunt there. I think he's catching more balls than Jacobs. I do like Jacobs in standard, but if you're going with the PPR there, I think Hunt is your play.
He is Darin Tietgen, who2start.com. Use the numeral 2. Get personalized fantasy football advice with us every Thursday. We appreciate you, man. We'll do it next week.
All right. Always a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you. Hour number 2 next, AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. You know where to find them. 17 locations across South Louisiana. And when you walk in, Shaw Bills is going to treat you like family. If you're like me, you value customer service. So I value customer service so much so that many times I will pay more if I know I'm going to get great customer service. The great thing about Shaw Bills is you're going to get treated like family and still get the best price. That's what they've built their business on for more than 50 years now. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they treat you like family. Ask about the Charlie's Dozen, which is the benefits package extended to every member of the family when you buy your tires at Shaw Bills. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. Shop tires online. Schedule service online. It's all there at ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling.
I am Juliet, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women. Women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis. But I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother, and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. NFL Week 4 kicks off tonight in Cincinnati. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is expected to play against the Bengals. That from ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques. Wideout Jalen Waddle also expected to play. Bengals D lineman DJ Reader goes on IR today with a left knee injury. He could be out for about 6 weeks. Because of Hurricane Ian, the Buccaneers relocated to Miami this week to prepare for Sunday's game against the Chiefs. The NFL announced today that game will be played as scheduled in Tampa. Bucs quarterback Tom Brady.
We're just going to do the best we could do with the circumstances that are presented in front of us, knowing that, we're definitely, in a different routine, but we're going to have to focus the best way we can in order to put our best performance out there.
Tom Brady. Ravens nose tackle Michael Pierce having surgery today for a torn left biceps. He becomes the 4th Ravens player already this season to have a season-ending injury.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Lamar Jackson is below Tua. Tua's no, he was.
No, it wasn't.
No, he was.
Tua was 6 in the odds.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay, because you was betting on
Yes.
It's Friday with KJ and Max. It all starts at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt. I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 1 hour from right now, we'll head to the Plains. Our buddy Zach Blackerby will give us an Auburn preview. Mike Triplett, an hour and 15 minutes from right now. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we will circle back to Saints injury report today if you missed it. Jameis and Michael Thomas did not practice. So that is a change from a week ago, or the past couple of weeks, where Jameis has been off Wednesday and then was limited Thursday, Friday. He did not practice today. And again, Taysom Hill was taking backup quarterback reps behind Andy Dalton. So we'll go back over the injury report in about 15 minutes from right now. And we'll talk a little bit more also about a roster move the Saints made and an update on Bucs Chiefs, as that game was, they were monitoring the storm, but it looks like all is going to be clear for them to play in Tampa. So we'll get to all that coming up here shortly. There was history last night as Aaron Judge, after a 7-game homerless streak in the top of the 7th inning in Toronto, did this.
And the 3-2. Throw deep to left field. This could be it. See ya. He's done it. Number 61. He's been chasing history, and now he makes it. He and Roger Maris are tied with 61 home runs, the most anybody has ever hit in a single season in American League history.
Michael Kay on the call on the Yes Network. That happened yesterday around 8:20 p.m. Central Time. Muse, where were we yesterday around 8:20 p.m. Central Time?
We were at Oliver Twist for Scone and Tea.
We were.
Yeah. It's a good show. Pretty good crowd there last night.
Yeah.
Beers were cold.
Did they have the game on there?
No, they didn't. No.
No, they didn't.
They had a replay of the Bills-Dolphins game on, actually.
That's actually a true thing that happened.
Yeah.
So how did I get to learn that Aaron Judge hit 61?
Well, I was on Twitter and walked up to you with my phone and said, hey, man, Judge got 61.
Yeah. Just another thing I missed.
It happened again.
I missed 60
Yeah.
because I was bathing my kid. I'm sitting there watching the whole game. And I got really discouraged. It was the game where the Yankees pulled off the big rally against the Pirates in the 9th.
Yeah, they're down 8-4.
And Judge homer to make it 8-5, and Stanton hit the grand slam. But Judge led off the inning with the solo homer in the 9th, and I was bathing my kid, so I didn't see that. And now I missed 61. I can't wait to see how I miss 62.
Yeah, I mean,
that's going to be really, really a lot of fun. I got the day off today, so I can't miss it today.
It's impossible.
I actually need to check the schedule for the weekend. I know they're in the Bronx against Baltimore. So let's see. I know they play tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Central. So the AFR will be over, so I'll go home and I'll get a chance to watch. So tomorrow would be good. But my guess is they're probably going to play on Saturday during the LSU game. That's probably, I don't know but that's probably what's going to happen. No, Saturday is a noon game.
Hey, wait a minute.
So I got a shot.
Got a shot there.
I'll have the game on at least on a tablet or a device or something like that while I'm watching football.
And look, they'll just interrupt the game anyway and bring you as a bat live.
That's actually fair. I don't know why people are so pissed about it.
Oh, they were very angry.
I mean, I get that we live in an era where people just need to be pissed about something all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's an at-bat is literally about 60 seconds. Like, shut up. They're not removing your game. They
split screen.
They're split screen. You can still watch your game. It's okay. Because there's enough people that care about watching this and watching history. Like, it's okay. If you don't like it, do some deep exhalations for about 60 seconds, and your game will be back on. Actually, it never left. You're just sharing the screen with something that could be historic. It's like watching the NBA Finals with the car chase back in 94. I mean,
hey, Twitter world.
I didn't even mean to do that. Like, it was the NBA Finals, but there was something historic going on. It was captivating. People watched it. If you don't like it, don't worry. Just move on to whatever the other thing is in life you want to do. Here was Aaron Judge about hitting 61.
Definitely some relief getting to 61. You know, you try not to think about it, but it creeps into your head. But, you know, getting a chance to do it, you know, in a Yankee win, and especially on another night where, you know, Garrett Cole ties the, you know, all-time single-season, you know, strikeout record. That's, you know, that's a pretty special day right there.
There were some other underlying pieces of last night, namely the guy. What's the guy's name that dropped the ball, Muse? The fan?
I actually don't know his name.
It's something like Lasagna Joe or something.
Did they release his name?
Well, yeah, he's apparently like he's a well-known.
He's not one of those guys who goes to all the parks and.
I don't know that, but he's a well-known Blue Jays fan. He goes by like Billy Lasagna or something like that.
He's like Fireman Ed.
Kind of, but he's not dressed up like Fireman Ed, thinking he's entitled to something. So I'm okay with him. Those are the guys that I can't stand. But anyway, so that guy had an opportunity. Well, it was still a tough catch. He had a glove. Look, wow, it's funny. We're actually watching right here.
That's so brutal, though.
Wow. But he missed it. Frankie Lasagna. Look, it's on screen. Frankie Lasagna. I know. That could not have been any better. Frankie Lasagna. So he missed the ball. Mad. So he had a chance at the ball, which would have netted him 7 figures.
Easy.
Oh, look, he's so dejected. Like,
wouldn't you be?
Absolutely.
I mean, you literally just had 7 figures flying at you, and you dropped it.
And you were wearing a glove.
Yeah.
You brought a glove to the park. Here's your moment, and you were inches away, and you blew it. Absolutely, I'd be devastated.
E-fan.
Awful. Well, the ball ended up in the hand of Blue Jays bullpen coach Matt Bushman. Matt Bushman, I need to check myself on this, but I'm pretty sure Matt Bushman played at Vanderbilt. We were talking about this in the break. I'm almost positive because he's married to Sarah Walsh. Sarah Walsh, who was at ESPN, is now a Fox Sports reporter. Well, she and Matt Bushman, like, they lived in Nashville, but apparently now maybe they live in Tampa because she tweeted, "Oh, cool. he just handed that back without checking to see if our house is still here. I'd next like to announce our divorce. So Sarah Walsh basically put her husband on blast for just giving the ball back in that moment as he got it in the dugout. Now, the other interesting part is she tweeted, if you were following along there, she said the coolest, weirdest thing about the game is, she said, when I first met her husband more than a decade ago, he asked my favorite movie. I told him it was 61. That's interesting. And then she also noted this, and this is good on you, good guy, Matt Bushman. But she said, just a reporter doing work here. Matt Bushman was not forced to give the ball back, but he handed it over to Zach Britton. Bushman told me, quote, the Judge and Maris family have been flying all over the country. They deserve to have that ball. So he didn't have to give it back, apparently. But did. That's a little bit trickier, though. That's like if you're the adult and you catch a ball and there's a kid sitting next to you. You're not obligated to give the kid the ball, but you kind of have to give the kid the ball or you're a giant a-hole.
Yeah. It's not like the guys who caught 60 who just walked away with like a signed ball and a bat.
That was a little brutal.
That was bad.
They could have done way better than that.
I would have just asked for the money.
I don't know what 60 would have fetched. I mean,
I don't know.
It brought you alongside Babe Ruth. I mean, this passes Ruth, ties you with Maris, but actually you're the fastest ever to 61 legitimately or authentically. But I get that there's – here's the thing I'll say. I think there is still some cynicism. There's still some don't give a damn because a lot of people have soured on baseball and power numbers because of the steroid era, which I totally understand. It's like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, and people aren't going to be duped again. I do get it. I'm very, very sympathetic to that. But I am a baseball fan, and I am a Yankee fan, as you all know, and this has been captivating because we're literally watching the best offensive season in the history of baseball. I mean, this is the 147th season of Major League Baseball, and this is the best individual season ever. So it's been so much fun to watch greatness, like in any other thing. Like if you're watching Steph pursue the 3-point record, or name it, if it's Brady breaking all the passing records, it's incredible to watch greatness. Like watching Michael Thomas back in 2018. I mean, or 2019. It was incredible to watch greatness in a record-breaking season. That's what Aaron Judge is doing right now, which is really cool. Roger Maris Jr. was interviewed on the Yes Network, and here's what he said about Judge.
I think it means a lot, and it's not just for me. I think it means a lot for a lot of people, that he's clean, he's a Yankee, he plays the game the right way, and, I think it gives people a chance to look at somebody who, should be revered for hitting 62 home runs, and not just as a guy who did it in the American League. He should be revered for, being the actual single-season home run champ. I mean, that's really who he is if he hits 62, and I think that's what needs to happen. I think baseball needs to look at the records, and I think baseball should do something.
How about it? Roger Maris Jr. has firmly planted his flag atop the hill saying the cheaters don't belong. I disagree with that, by the way. It was an era in which baseball did not test. There were untold numbers of players that were juicing. I think we can look at that era for what it is. And there is no winning this debate, right? There is no right or wrong. There's been enough time passed where everyone has their opinion about what happened. And that's what it is. And I think few will be convinced otherwise. And that's okay. I'm not here to try to convince anybody of anything. Just merely sharing an opinion. And it's interesting to hear Roger Maris Jr. say it because it does provide, I think, some context around what Aaron Judge is doing. But the best that I heard was actually Bob Costas, who was on Greeny earlier today. And this is a Bob Costas who is he is not only maybe the greatest broadcaster of our or any generation sports broadcaster. He also is a noted baseball historian. And Bob Costas, I thought, maybe most eloquently talked about what Judge has done.
You detail all these things, primarily day ball, entirely day ball, primarily night ball, cross-country travel, expansion, all of those things. Analytics would be part of it. And then prominently among those differences would be the so-called steroid era, in which statistics, especially power statistics, out of whack in the eras that immediately preceded and followed, occurred. Consider all these things to whatever extent you wish as you read through the numbers that are reflected, the raw numbers that are reflected reflected in Baseball Reference or the Baseball Encyclopedia. I think that's the best that they can do. People put that cluster of seasons that includes every 60-plus home run season not involving Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, and now Aaron Judge, they put it in a different place. They're not necessarily condemning those guys. Product of the time. Lots of guys would have done it. Past Hall of Famers of previous generations have said, hey, if it was available and I needed it and people were getting a competitive advantage over me, I might have done it. It's not a question of morality or criminality, but it is a question of authenticity. And to one extent or another, what McGuire, Sosa, and Bonds did was inauthentic.
Eloquent as always, Bob Costas, and it does give a perspective on Aaron Judge. Baseball's got a real issue on its hand. I mean, it has for a long time, as we all well know. But that shouldn't diminish the greatness that Aaron Judge has shown this year, which is awesome. Even Musso, a dirty Red Sox fan, can appreciate what Aaron Judge has done.
He's so damn likable.
He is.
I just don't get it. He's just so likable. But yeah, man, appreciate good baseball. That's good baseball.
It's after further review. We will knock out a quick break. When we come back, there is an update on Alvin Kamara's legal troubles out in Las Vegas. We'll get to that. And Mike Triplett about 1 hour from right now. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, or download the Rouse's app. So Rouse's makes it easy. It's Thursday. Maybe you're heading home and you don't want to cook tonight. No worries. Rouse's has you covered. Walk in, go to the left. You can go to, it's like a tour around the world. What do you want tonight? Do you want Italian? Do you want seafood? Do you want something from the meat market? Do you want boiled seafood? Go to the hot grab-and-go kiosk and just grab some boiled shrimp or whatever it is you're feeling. They got you covered at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. But if you need to do your grocery shopping for your game watch party, your tailgate, or just your weekly grocery shopping, look, a lot of people don't want to spend hours and hours and hours on a Sunday at the grocery store. I get it. So Rouse's makes it easy. Go to the app, select your items. Your personal shopper will go pick out your items for you. When you pull up, they'll bring it out to the car. Or you can have your items delivered to your home if you can't get to Rouse's. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's. This feels like home.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, so there is a bit of an update on Alvin Kamara's legal proceedings in Las Vegas. Remember, it's already been postponed several times, had hearings postponed. 8 News Now's David Charnes, I should say David Charnes of 8 News Now, although that's passive voice, you shouldn't do that, but 8 News Now's sounds weird. Anyway, David Charnes, who is with 8 News in Las Vegas, reported from the court proceedings in Nevada on Thursday. Kamara and the other defendants were not required to attend, and all of the dozen, there's like a dozen lawyers involved in this negotiation, because everybody involved has their own lawyers and multiple lawyers. So, I mean, you got about a dozen attorneys involved here in these negotiations. They asked for another continuation. It was delayed again. So both sides will then regroup on November the 9th. So if you're looking at the schedule, November the 9th will be 2 days after the Saints play on Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens. So the Saints schedule, kind of as it continues to progress, they'll play Minnesota in London. They'll come home to play Seattle. And then you've got this really tough stretch that we've talked about. You've got the Bengals. You have the short week on Thursday night at the Cardinals. Then you have the extra rest, obviously, to come home against the Raiders, who are really struggling. Then you've got the Ravens at home on Monday Night Football. So, and then after that Ravens game is the next court proceeding. So, is when it's scheduled anyway. It's possible, certainly, that the NFL could punish Kamara before, but some of the previous reports have been that punishment for Kamara and those involved wouldn't come from the NFL until the 2023 season at the earliest. And this sort of falls in line with that. The longer they delay and drag out this case, the longer they delay any finality in it, the less likely it is that any type of punishment from the NFL comes down before then, because if they were going to, they could have already done it. If they were going to punish Kamara and those involved, they could have done it already, but they haven't. So Alvin Kamara, that's the latest from the Las Vegas case. So if you're just looking at it, again, no commentary on the legal proceedings, what happened, what is alleged to have happened, what we saw with or without context on that video. We can all draw our own conclusions. That's not why I'm here. But from a football standpoint, what we could certainly assume at this point is that Kamara will at least be with the team through the Monday Night Football game against Baltimore, and then you can make a determination after that, depending on what happens with the legal proceedings after that. All right. We will run back through the Saints injury report here in just a minute. Let me remind you about Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Reliefwindows.com, 288-8138, 288-8138 for Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. That's energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. I'll tell you about it all the time. At Relief Windows, you get experience, quality, and service. Of course, great experience in our area, the highest quality materials and products, and unmatched customer service. That is the thing that sets Relief Windows apart more than any other. They will measure twice to install once, and they will never take $1 from you until you are thrilled with the work that they do. That is Relief Windows. 288-8138, 288-8138 for Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Speaking of Alvin Kamara, he was on the injury report today as limited, but participated, which is really good news for the New Orleans Saints. After not having Kamara 2 weeks ago against Tampa, as he's kind of had this lingering sort of rib injury that he was able to play through last week. He was able to practice again on Thursday, limited, but still was able to practice out there. Here was Pete Carmichael. Dennis Allen did not meet with the media on Thursday, as he does not typically. Offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael did. Here was Carmichael on Alvin Kamara's touches this week.
I would say this. I think that if we can extend some more drives, I think he'd have more carries. And so I think that, no, I wish he had more opportunities. I think that comes with converting third downs and having more opportunities to call some more run plays.
It all kind of goes hand in hand. Mike Detillier for years on the show talked about the Saints record when they ran the ball 30 times or more in a game under Sean Payton. But there is some truth to the other side of that. When you're down, it's hard to run the football. You got to kind of throw yourself back in. For Alvin Kamara, 24 rushes for 100 yards. That's his season total. Having played just 2 games, but he's averaging better than 4 yards a carry. And unfortunately, I think what we'll remember most about Kamara this season so far is the fumble he had against Carolina, which led to the scoop and score, which is the thing that became the catalyst for Carolina. But it would be great to see Kamara get going. Carmichael did also address these slow offensive starts, which we've seen in all 3 games.
I'll just start and say I got to do a better job. I know, last week we felt we had a couple good drives that stalled out with some penalties, and again, we're turning the ball over too much, and we're not converting on third down as well as we should be. So that starts with me.
He's right. I mean, there's a lot of factors involved that can't be ignored. Like we talked about on Monday. We can blame Pete Carmichael. We can blame Jameis Winston. The blame game can go everywhere, and everybody shares in it. But neither of those guys fumbled against Carolina, which led to a scoop and score. Kamara did. Neither of those guys had a field goal block. Neither of those guys missed a field goal against Carolina. Those are scoring plays, and you can play that what-if game for any play for throughout the entire game. But those are scoring plays that directly affected the outcome. That didn't have anything to do with those guys. Now, you could argue, obviously, if they had done a better job of play calling or Winston executing, then you aren't in the situation where those matter, which is also true. But that's how you look at things in totality. And that's where the Saints are. And it's why they're 1-2 right now, because they just haven't been good enough. And they got to figure out a lot of this. Now, if they do it, they're going to do it possibly shorthanded this weekend in London. We'll run through the injury report here quickly for those that missed it. Mike Triplett was less than an hour from right now. But the biggest news of the day on the injury report is that both Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas did not practice for the second consecutive day. If you don't practice at all by Friday, chances are you're not going to play. And Winston and Thomas both not practicing is concerning. And I think for Michael Thomas, you hate it because he worked so hard to get back, and now he's got a foot injury. For Winston, I think this is a best path forward. It's let that guy let his back heal until he's ready to go, and then let him play again. In the meantime, it's why you have Andy Dalton. The good news on the injury front, probably the best news, is Jarvis Landry. When Jarvis left the game with that ankle injury, it looked bad, the way he was hobbling, barely putting any weight on it. He did not practice on Wednesday, but was practicing in a limited capacity on Thursday, which is fantastic. Ryan Ramczyk was limited after not practicing. Andrus Peat was limited after not practicing on Wednesday. So you saw a lot of players upgrade. Traquan Smith, who had the concussion, was limited on Wednesday. I'm sorry, did not practice, or was limited, then was upgraded to a full participant today on Thursday. So there are a lot of upgrades on the injury report, which is a very encouraging thing as the Saints move into this game against Minnesota, which is so critical. Minnesota's defense, y'all, has been awful this year. They have been one of the worst defenses in the league. They're allowing over 400 yards per game. The flip side of it is we know what Minnesota's offense is and can be and how much of a threat they are and have been. So if this becomes a game where you've got to get into a bit of a shootout and score, which hopefully you don't. Hopefully the Saints defense plays as well this week as they have really through the first 3 weeks. Maybe you limit Minnesota's opportunities, but the impetus is on the offense for New Orleans to get going this week, and it's looking more and more likely that it's going to be Andy Dalton under center. And another interesting tidbit about Dalton, Dalton has played twice in London with the Bengals. And one time, incidentally, against Kirk Cousins, who was with the Washington Redskins at the time, now the Commanders. But they tied in that game. And then the other one, I have it. It was 2019. It was 2019, and they lost to the Rams 24-10. So Andy Dalton has started twice in London, And this could well be his third career start in London if, in fact, Jameis Winston's not able to go. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Schutz Electric, CESofLA.com, CESofLA.com for Schutz Electric. Have Schutz come by, install that Generac whole home generator at your house like they did at my house. Hurricane Ida last year was the last straw for us. Erica had been telling me for years, get a generator, get a generator, get a generator. Finally called Schutz Electric. They were awesome to work with. They handled everything from the first time we called. They handled all the permitting with the city. They called the energy company because you got to have power turned off when you do the install and testing and all this stuff. They were great to work with and schedule. And maybe the best part is that it's affordable. Financing is available if you need it. And they have inventory in stock. Some companies, it's you call them, you got to wait 6 months for them to order it. Schutz was very proactive and ordered a ton of generators. So they've got inventory in stock. Call them today, and they're getting cranking right now. Schutz Electric, CESofLA.com. That's CESofLA.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. When we come back, we're going to start a new segment that me, Paulie, and Muse will do every Thursday here. What to watch for the football weekend. We'll tell you 3 storylines we're watching this weekend. Then on Monday, we'll circle back and see how it all played out. What to watch debuts next on AFR.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
Shop,
Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in-store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shop a style.
Oh, yeah!
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, rolling through here. A Thursday edition of AFR presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bonnet, Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey, and Lafayette. Online at theantiagingclinics.com. 25 minutes, we'll talk LSU Auburn with Zach Blackerby, our buddy who covers Auburn for Locked on Auburn. Get a closer look at the Tigers as it looks like no TJ Finley. It's been reported by AL.com. Finley will miss this game with his AC shoulder sprain and grade 2 AC shoulder sprain. So that means it will be Robbie Ashford for Auburn against LSU. We'll take a closer look at Auburn coming up again in about 25 minutes from right now. Right now, though, let's kick it off. Muse, a little music, if you would. We are going to do a segment on Thursdays called What to Watch. Super creative, I know. These are storylines that we are watching for this football weekend, and then we'll circle back on Monday, kind of dissect how it all went. Every time I hear this song, I think about, did you ever read the book, Those Guys Have All the Fun? It's the ESPN book.
I did not.
It's like 700 pages.
Oh.
Yeah. They released it on the 30th anniversary of ESPN. And I read it on my honeymoon. Erica called me a giant nerd for reading on the plane. And I'm like, you're sleeping. What do you care? Like, you're sleeping on the plane.
Fair.
I'm reading a book. You're sleeping, I'm reading. What does it matter? Anyway, great book. Well, there was it was basically a long form quotes. They just talked to everybody that ever worked at ESPN. They basically just told the story of ESPN. So it's like a little bit of context, long quote. And Chris, long story to say, Chris Berman essentially said he will be known as the guy who did Primetime.
Yep.
Like that's the thing that he believes he will be known for. More than anything. Nicknames, everything, because nobody did an NFL highlight show until he and TJ did Primetime. And this is...
I think of now the fastest 2 minutes. I'm at halftime on Monday Night Football. They still use this as the bed for that. But yeah, boomer, man.
All right, anyway, Muse, what you got?
Starting college, Matt. Remember Monday?
You're playing the Primetime Demon, you're starting college?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said it's college and pro.
Yeah, it is.
Monday, one of my takeaways from the weekend was I thought that Washington's a dark horse in the Pac-12. That's going to be put to the test tomorrow night when they head to, the Rose Bowl in front of 200 people. But
Friday night game. You got to show up, people. You got to show up.
Undefeated matchup here between these two.
Undefeated matchup, prime time. You got to show up.
Michael Penix has been great for Washington.
Awesome.
At UCLA, they're undefeated. They've stumbled. The South Alabama game comes to mind. But hey, this is a big test for Washington. Short line, 2.5 points in favor of the Huskies. They dodge Utah. They dodge USC. This is a hurdle that they have to get over, though.
Huge. Paulie, was that a gunshot?
No, it's like a whoosh thing.
That was not a whoosh.
It is.
Paulie, did that sound like a gunshot?
It did.
It sounded like a
gunshot. It sounded like a gunshot.
You says gunshots. It sounds.
That's not a
Tell me that
gunshot.
doesn't sound
What are you
like a
talking
gunshot.
about?
That sounds like a gunshot. Paulie.
Yeah, I'm with you, Matt.
Thank you. Oh, you could have gone to the next one.
Well,
That's
okay.
right. All right, Paulie, what you got? We got to get through 9 of these. Let's go.
I'm watching number 7 Kentucky against number 14 Ole Miss. Who is for real?
Who is for real?
Who do you think it is?
I think Ole Miss is going to win that game.
I think Kentucky can pull it off.
Okay. I'm going to watch Kansas and Iowa State. I can't.
We all started with college. It NFL prime time, we all started with college.
It sounds like a cap gun.
This doesn't look like a cap gun. What are you talking about?
Play it again. It sounds like a prop gun in a Western.
Oh my gosh!
If I was watching like Once Upon a Time in the West, that's what that
It's
sounds
too
like.
futuristic to sound like a.
Some music. Give me a transition sounder. He gets a cap gun.
It's not a cap gun. We're getting a new one for next week.
No, we are absolutely keeping that. We are, for the same reason we're keeping Barbie Girl forever.
Right, yeah.
We're keeping that. 2:30 Central. I will likely not be locked into this game, but there at David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium in Lawrence, it is sold out. Kansas at 4-0 is welcoming in Iowa State. I think Iowa State's defense is probably going to be too much in this game. I don't know. I don't have the line.
3 points. Iowa State 3.
Iowa State 3. Iowa State 3. Jalen Daniels has been fantastic. Kansas is good. Like, they're good. They're good. They're not great, and they're not really good on defense. But they're a good team, and they're going to go to a bowl game. And this is kind of a big opportunity. Who would have thought Kansas, Iowa State would make a list like this? But the fact that we're talking about Kansas really illustrates their large degree of futility and how far they have come. Good luck to the Jayhawks.
Rock chalk, baby. There's 4 teams. There's 4 teams in the NFL that remain undefeated against the spread heading into this week. I want to see if they can keep it up. One of them you'll see tonight, the Miami Dolphins. They're 3-0. The Lions, 3-0 against the spread as well. Falcons, they're going to be a road dog at Cleveland. They're 3-0. And the Texans, 2-0-1. Teams who have been undefeated through 3 weeks, 42% they do not cover the next time. They're below 500. So we'll see.
Good number there.
That's bad news, though.
It's terrible.
It's not that bad.
Why did you pick that?
It sounds fine.
No, it doesn't.
It gets
That's
you
the
to one
poll
topic
question.
to the other.
Does Musso sound effects sound like a gun? A gunshot.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Paul.
I'm going to the NFL. This could be a potential playoff matchup. I'm going the Bills versus the Ravens.
Okay.
Can Lamar Jackson finally get the monkey off his back?
Okay.
He bet on himself. Will he get the contract? Let's see.
I'll stay in the NFL. I'll do this quickly. The biggest surprise for me in the NFL through 3 weeks is that the Raiders are 0-3. They're hosting Denver. Denver's offense is awful. If you can't win this game at home, you may not win a game all year. All right, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but Raiders 0-3, like the Raiders have to win this game this weekend at home. I want to see that.
Big weekend in the SEC. Paul mentioned Ole Miss and Kentucky. You got Bama and your Arkin frauds, Scone. You have
Arkin frauds.
A&M and Mississippi State.
Yes.
Alabama 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 road games. All of them decided by 3 points. They're 17.5-point favorites in that game, and keep an eye on that.
You gonna lay the 17.5?
I don't know. I normally don't bet on Bama or any of their games, so I don't have to watch it.
Cap gun. Thank you, Paulie.
2 surprise teams in the NFL. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Everybody's texting. Wait, it's not a gunshot?
It's not. It doesn't even sound like a gunshot.
Muse, are you insane? It sounds
I'm
like
going to
a
go
gunshot.
get a gunshot sound effect, and we're going to play them
That's
side by
what
side.
it sounds like.
It's not the same
If you
thing.
look at however that's labeled, it's probably gunshot. That's probably what that sounds like.
Sorry.
And by the way, guests appear via the jimsfirearms.net hotline, where you can hear plenty of gunshots if you go to Jim's Firearms at their shooting range, firing range. Paulie.
Oh, yeah. Jaguars, Eagles. Can the Jaguars actually win this division?
Yeah. It's a terrible division.
Yeah. They look good.
The other that was going to be one of mine, because the other storyline is Doug Peterson going back to Philly. They got a statue of the man out there.
I totally missed that.
They have a freaking statue of that man outside the stadium, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
I know they've got the statue of the play. What's the
Philly special?
Philly special, yeah, Philly special.
Jaguars
But I
Twitter
think
is
he's in
threatening
it.
to steal the statue if they win.
What happened?
Jaguars Twitter is threatening to steal the statue if they win.
I thought you said punter. I was like, Bag of Bones Jones?
That'd be awesome.
All right. Gunshot,
Oh,
please.
yeah. Gunshot.
It sounds like
No,
a
it doesn't.
Like you're going to lose this badly. Clemson, NC State. Is Clemson a playoff team? Most people are assuming Bama, Georgia will be there, and then Is it Ohio State, USC? But Clemson's still loitering. They have played this game since 1899. This is the first time ever that both teams are in the top 10. How about that?
I like that.
NC State has never been to the ACC championship game. And NC State has not won at Clemson since 2002. Like, this is, if you are going to get over the hump, here it is. You want to, hey, NC State, you want to be legitimate? Here it is. Clemson, you dodged the scare last week. Can you win at home against NC State? If you do, you're likely going to win the ACC and you'll be in the playoff again. NC State did win this game last year in overtime, 27-21. All right. That's what to watch. Those are the things we'll be watching this football weekend. And, of course, if you want to bet on any of them, you can at DraftKings. The DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Remember, bet just $5. New customers, use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5 on any football game, and they will give you $200 in free bets if you win. So, like, you want to bet on the money line, Bama to beat the Arkan frauds? 17.5-point favorites. Okay, Bama wins that game, they'll give you $200 in free bets. Pick your game. Like, how about tonight? South Carolina is a 39.5-point favorite against South Carolina Upstate. Bet $5 on Carolina to win. They'll give you $200 in free bets if they do, which, of course, they will. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. And remember, all customers, the more legs you add on your parlays, you can add on to your bets up to 100% bonus increases at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. We should have a disclaimer. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-7-0-STOP. All right. We'll not get a break. USO will have Tigers in the pros when we continue on AFR.
AFR.
So stupid. We're brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital. brgeneral.org. brgeneral.org. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, expanding healthcare in the Baton Rouge area. Amazing work that they do. They're partnered with the Mayo Clinic Care Network. They're a part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. What that means is your physician gets clinical collaboration with the experts at the Mayo Clinic at no extra cost to you. Another way the Baton Rouge General is expanding healthcare in Baton Rouge. Of course, you've got locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. The Mid-City location where the emergency room has reopened in COVID and remained open. The Regional Burn Center is at the Mid-City location. The Bluebonnet campus, where they have the Pennington Cancer Center. The Ascension Neighborhood Hospital. And, of course, the Express Care locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. Walk-in urgent care 7 days a week, courtesy of the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Learn more online about all of their featured services at brgeneral.org. That's brgeneral.org.
To Corval Toyota and meet with a sales specialist to build your new Toyota. It's easy and stress-free. Or if you're looking for a pre-owned, we have a wide variety. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance.
available at the Acura Summer of Performance. This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Josh Spears. Wait, it's not a gunshot?
No, Josh Spears, it's not a gunshot.
Jordan Grace definitely sounds like a gun.
You're wrong, Jordan.
Brian Bourgeois, 100% gunshot. My first thought, and I was like, why?
Nope.
Matt Lusto, LOL, sounds like a gunshot from an electronic keyboard.
I don't hear it. I don't hear it.
Jeremy Wiley, it's his earbuds. That actually makes plenty of sense. It makes perfect sense.
Paul has earbuds. Paul said it sounded like a gunshot.
Eric Johnson said, sounds like a track and field gun. Bernard Snyder is Musso wearing cowboy boots and a hat. What's with the 6-shooter? I mean, it's
wearing a hat, not a cowboy hat.
It's a consensus. Like, it's every single text. Like, play it for those who just joined us.
Don't hear. No.
The fact that you don't hear it sounds so ornery and stubborn. Like you're just saying you don't hear it.
No, I'm serious.
To be different.
If I thought it sounded like a gunshot, I would not have used it.
Have you ever heard a gun?
Yes, I've shot a gun.
I don't believe you. Musso has Tigers in the pros. Was that a gunshot?
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
All right, Thursday Night Football, Bengals, Dolphins, Joey B, Jamar Chase, they'll be in action. Of course, they'll be facing Tua and a couple other Alabama players. So it's brought back some pretty good memories of the 2019 game. See, first meeting between all those guys tonight since that game. See how it goes. Major League Baseball last night, Jake Fraley made his presence felt in the game. 1 for 4. It was his 11th home run of the season, was that one. Hitting .249, drove in a run, scored a run as well in that game. Alex Lang took the mound for the second consecutive night for the Detroit Tigers. Of course, recorded his 6th win yesterday. This time, his 20th hold. 1 shutout inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 15 pitches, 8 strikes for the Langer. Aaron Nola last night on the mound. We already know how this went. He pitched really well. The Phillies didn't score. They lost. And by proxy, he lost. 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 8.
And lost.
He is 10-13 with an ERA of 3.3.
I hate the Phillies so much.
This
is making me hate them so much.
They stink. His brother, Austin Nola, older brother, big bro, if you will, was 2 for 3 last night in the Padres loss. Both of them were singles. He was lifted for Josh Bell as a pinch hitter later in the night, and Bell went 0 for 1. Maybe you should have left in Austin Nola. Minor league baseball. How about this? Friend of the show, Scott Sanders, tweets last night a video of Cam Sanders touching 100. Joins the 100-mile-per-hour club, Matt. How about that? The Cubs should be ashamed of themselves for not calling him up this year.
I'm super bummed.
I am too.
You can't see it, Paul, because you got the slate there, but it shows there it is. You see the miles per hour on the slate there at the bottom. So, is where the
radar gun was.
I'm going. It's not a speedometer. What am I? What word am I looking? Oh my god! It's not a gunshot either. By the way, shout out to Jeff Covington, coming from a retired state trooper. It's a gunshot.
Jeff, come on. You can't do that to me, Jeff.
Retired state trooper. Muse.
Lastly, Sam Burns. He's defending his championship at the Sanderson Farms this week. He's through 16 holes, 2 under par, tied for 27th. A 4-way tie actually now at the top of the leaderboard at 5 under. So Sam's 3 back. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Again, lmfj.com. Gentlemen, if you are thinking about popping the question, there is only one place to go. The place where Baton Rouge has gone to get engaged for 40 years. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You could shop by style, by clarity, by setting, by design. There's so many different things to consider. Lee Michaels has the expertise and the selection. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. All right, hour number 3, a Zach Blackerby from Auburn next.
AFR.
If you want to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, the Williamson Eye Center can make it happen, like they did for me and like they have done for thousands of Louisiana residents over their 70 years that they've been open. Eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. They're a full-service eye center. If you want to get your family eye exams, you can do it. The Williamson Eye Center. Any of their 7 locations, including their newest in the River Parishes down in Lutcher. Eyewear. If you wear glasses or contacts, you can go to their optical shop in any of their locations, and you can shop for that perfect pair of glasses. But eye surgery is what I always love to stress, because refractive procedures and ophthalmology, the entire profession has continued to grow and expand and develop as science has, and there is a refractive option for everyone, no matter your age or your refractive issue. Let the Williamson Eye Center help. Go for that free consultation. Make that call. Call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques reports Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is expected to play tonight against the Bengals in Cincinnati. He was evaluated for a concussion after hitting the back of his head on Sunday. ESPN's Rob Ninkovich isn't sold yet on Tua or the Dolphins.
The Panthers were 3-0 last year.
Yep.
The Steelers were 11-0 at one point, and then they completely fell apart. So I need a little bit more sample size until I jump on the boat of MVP or the Dolphins are Super Bowl winning team. Let's just wait a little bit.
Rob Ninkovich on Barton Hahn. Dolphins wideout Jalen Waddle also expected to play tonight. The NFL will keep Sunday night's Chiefs-Buccaneers game in Tampa. Minneapolis was a possible alternate site after the Bucs evacuated for Hurricane Ian. Browns defensive end Myles Garrett was cited by Ohio State police for failure to control his vehicle and driving at an unsafe speed after he crashed his car on Monday. Garrett's car went off the road and flipped over.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yes, so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Mike Triplett joins us from London in about 15 minutes from right now. Mike said he'll stay up late. Said it's 11. It'll be 11:15-ish local time there in London when we chat with him. He was good with it, so we'll go to London here in about 15 minutes. Right now, let's go to the Plains. Our buddy Zach Blackerby joins us as we preview the Auburn Tigers.
The Tigers are on the hunt. Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
Zach Blackerby, easy for me to say, from Locked On Auburn, good enough to join us. How are you, bud?
Good, man. Good. Always a pleasure to talk to you on Auburn LSU Week.
Hey, man, you and I have talked about it before. I love this game. It's my favorite series that LSU plays annually. It just always means more for me. We were talking about if we should lead with the Brian Harsin stuff, but Zach, I just don't know that. Well, we're here to talk about the game, but I don't know how we'd lead with anything else because it's just it feels like outside looking in, like it's just a massive cloud over the whole program right now. What can you tell us about just the state of things there with Brian Harsin, boots on the ground?
I mean, it seems like it's unanimous. It seems like it's going to be a united effort, which is unusual at Auburn because there's 2 or 3 different political factions, right, at the powers that be. But I mean, it sounds like everybody's in agreement that it's time to move on. Brian Harsin doesn't seem happy. His family doesn't seem happy. The other Boise coaches that he brought with him don't seem happy. It seems like pretty much everybody's in agreement that it's time to move on. So we'll see about the timing. We'll see about, what the negotiations are regarding the buyout. But really, Matt, the only kind of debate is when do you do it, right? And I think I'm in the wait as long as you can boat. I don't think it really benefits you to let him go, but he's it's done. This will be the last year Brian Harson's Auburn's head coach.
Okay. All right, well, let's just transition to talk about the game. I saw a report from AL.com that TJ Finley will not be available. So do we know if that's confirmed that this is going to be Robbie Ashford on Saturday?
Yep. Talked to folks close to TJ last night, actually. I mean, he's having a hard time throwing the football farther than 15 or 20 yards. There's no zip on it. So TJ's out. Robbie Ashford is in. Robbie Ashford should be good to go and should be the full-time starter. We did see him leave the game against Missouri, right? He was blocking downfield because that's the kind of kid he is. And he ended up hurting himself. Came back in a few drives later. But, yeah, Robbie Ashford should be good to go.
How much does the offense change with Ashford as compared to Finley being in there?
Yeah, I think it changes, Matt, but not as much. It should change more. And so what we saw with the usage of Robbie Ashford when TJ Finley was healthy is he came in, did his Wildcat stuff, and actually provided some pop, actually provided some, explosiveness. But now as a full-time starter last week, you can't do that, right? You can't run Robbie Ashford 15 times a game and expect him to stay healthy. I mean, he barely stayed healthy last week. So it hasn't changed a lot, but it does need to change more because Robbie Ashford's feet, that's really the most dynamic thing on this offense right now.
So what has coming into the season, I think you and I spoke about this in Atlanta, like we talked about Tank Bigsby, and I mean, we saw Jarquez Hunter had some really explosive plays at Baton Rouge a year ago. Like, why hasn't the running game, why hasn't it been more effective?
Yeah, one, it's predictable. Two, it's Auburn's offensive line has been historically bad. Awful. And, going into Missouri last week, the storyline was like, okay, Auburn should be able to run the ball on Missouri because everybody can run on Missouri. And that wasn't the case. Averaging like 1.5 yards a play when Tank is in and when there's two tight ends on the field, and Auburn runs a ton of two tight end stuff. So it's just been a very boring offense, been a very predictable high school caliber offense with a historically bad offensive line by SEC standards.
Why? Why has the offensive line been – why and how? Like, what have they struggled so much at?
Yeah. Well, last year, PFF liked them. They were a top half offensive line. They couldn't run block, though, Matt, so they were okay from a pass blocking standpoint. I do think Bo Nix's mobility helps their grades out a little bit. I know PFF says they take that into account. I'm skeptical. It is what it is. But as far as, what you bring back from last year to this year, you bring back a ton. A lot of these guys came back and were like, all right, we're going to do the super senior thing, use the COVID year. But injuries still happen. Nick Brahms is a big part of this. He's been Auburn center for like 20 years, it feels like.
Right.
He retired from football before the season started. And the guy that stepped up after him, he wasn't ready. He got hurt early in the Missouri game. And so they're going to do some shuffling. I think they're going to have a brand new offensive line just to kind of hope that it works. And they kind of ran out of bodies at center. So they're going to put Brandon Council, who's a super senior. He's been at guard. He's played some center and some tackle before he transferred to Auburn from Akron.
Yeah.
So versatile dude, not great. I mean, he's not going to move the line of scrimmage by himself or anything like that. But it's just, you got a bunch of dudes that a lot of these guys weren't wanted by other SEC teams. And so just looking at dating back to the Gus Malzahn era, they didn't really put a whole lot of guys in place other than JUCO dudes, which are finally just now starting. You look at Killian Zaire at left tackle, but outside of that, it's just a bunch of dudes that nobody else really wanted, consistent 3 stars, and they haven't been developed over their time at Auburn.
He's on Twitter at Z Blackerby. Locked on Auburn host Zach Blackerby is with us, giving us our Auburn preview. If I ask the big picture question, what is the path for Auburn to have any success offensively in this game? What is it?
Yeah, I think Auburn's receivers are actually pretty talented. We just haven't been able to see them consistently get the ball. But when they get the ball in space, they make the most of it. You guys know of Coy Moore very well. We saw him actually get an opportunity last week against Missouri, and he looked good. He looked really, really good. And so you need to see some of that. Javarius Johnson, over the first few weeks, led the SEC in yards per reception, I believe yards per target as well. And then, Matt, he didn't get a target against Missouri. When your offense was struggling, your best guy, your most productive receiver, didn't get a target. So get those two guys involved, and then find a way to get the ball in Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter's hands other than just running it up the middle, whether it's outside zone stuff, whether it's getting him involved in the passing game, whatever it may be. You got to find a way to generate space and scheme guys open. But this offensive coaching staff has been stubborn, and they've chosen to not really decide, to change anything. Quick passes, doing things to help out your quarterback, and to really help out this poor offensive line. They're not doing some of the no-brainer stuff that you do to combat that when you have a weak pass blocking situation. And so we'll see. Maybe Brian Harsin feels like his back is up against the wall more now than a week ago. I don't know how. I mean, it seems like even though Auburn won, it seems like he's even more on the hot seat. But they've got to make some of these no-brainer adjustments. We'll see if they do it.
Is the defense any good?
Defense is good. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I don't think they're going to get as much credit because they're on the field a ton. And I kind of expected them to wear down a little bit against Missouri, and maybe they did, because Missouri did have that chance. They drove it all the way down the field and had a layup for a kick, and they missed that, and they were about to score in overtime. So maybe they did break down overtime. But, Matt, I'm kind of expecting this to be a close game at halftime, very low scoring, and then maybe halfway through the third, late third, early fourth, I think Jaden Daniels just starts finding chunk plays. But it's not because Auburn's defense is bad. I think Auburn's defense is actually pretty good. I just think they're going to be on the field a ton, and Auburn's offense is not going to be able to consistently move the football.
If special teams have been a big bugaboo for LSU this year, at various times they've been just bad in spots. How is Auburn on special teams?
Been a lot of conversation this week about Auburn's kicker. Anders Carlson, younger brother of Daniel Carlson. Daniel Carlson's one of the best kickers in SEC history. His little brother's not as good as him. And, he started as a redshirt freshman, I believe, and it was okay. But last year he kicked like 70%. He's 4 of 5 on the season this year, coming off of a knee injury. But he feels a lot worse than 4 of 5 on the year because he missed 2 kicks that didn't count last week. But he got bailed out by either like a timeout or an offsides call, and so it kind of worked out in Auburn's favor there. But a lot of concern about the kicking game. I think Auburn's punter is fine. And as far as the return game for Auburn, it's been okay. Nothing extremely explosive or anything like that, but a solid return here and there, but nothing to write home about. I think Auburn's fine on special teams.
If Auburn wins the game, and look, seeing LSU as a 9-point favorite at Jordan-Hare is like it's
not enough.
It's
not enough.
It's just eye-popping to me, Zach. I've referenced this before. 2012 Auburn is the worst Auburn team I've ever seen in my life. They were 0-8 in the league, and they fired Chiz. That was a 12-10 game where LSU kicked a field goal in the third quarter, and that was only scoring in the second half, and LSU escaped 12-10. I've just seen too many games in that damn stadium to think this is going to be a walk. So if there is a path for Auburn to win it, what does it look like?
I think the defense has to create chaos, which they have the skill set to do, right? And LSU starting some young guys up front, so maybe they have a chance to generate some mismatches there. Auburn's edge rushers, Derek Hall, Ekuliota, they're really, really good. And so maybe that makes Jaden Daniels uncomfortable. Jaden Daniels, we can all say what we want about the Pac-12. I don't have a whole lot of respect for it. So I don't think he's really seen an atmosphere like he will Saturday night in Jordan-Hare Stadium. maybe that rattles them some. I'm not banking on it, but, you're asking me this question,
sure.
So I'll answer it that way. But, maybe that impacts him. Maybe communication's tough for LSU's offense to help out this defense. And maybe, hey, Auburn's defense has only generated one turnover so far, and everybody's kind of banking on the law of averages to start evening this thing out. Maybe they can force a few more short fields for this offense to help them out. I think that's the path to it, man. I don't see this Auburn offense just turning a corner, Matt. I have a hard time believing they're going to be able to run the ball against LSU's defensive front, and I just don't trust the scheme enough to get guys open in the passing game more than 15 yards downfield.
You think LSU wins it going away?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if the line was LSU minus 14.5, I think I'd still take LSU.
Wow. Okay. Zach Blackerby locked on Auburn. Follow him on Twitter at @ZBlackerby. Nobody covers Auburn better. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, buddy. You're the GOAT.
Thanks, man. We'll see you. Man, it is sobering. And y'all, maybe it's just, I'll talk about it later. Maybe it's just like PTSD from seeing so many games there to think, I just cannot allow myself to think a game at Jordan-Hare Stadium is just going to be easy. My brain can't get there. I see it all objectively. Everything Zach talked about. Their offense stinks. They want to fire the coach. They can't run. Their offensive line is all reshuffled. Defense has been okay in spots. I get it. I get all of it. I am really struggling to get my brain to a place where I can see LSU just go dump truck Auburn at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Nobody would love to see that more than me. Trust me. I've told y'all, this is my favorite game. I would love to see LSU go boat race Auburn. But that hadn't happened since 1998. 1998 was the last time LSU won double digits at Jordan-Hare Stadium, 31-19. That's been 24 years. Maybe they're due. All right, Mike Triplett from London next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darin James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find them. Agent225.com, agent225.com. No one works harder to get your home sold faster for more money than Darin James. Because Darin James not only is he a great realtor, but he's a marketing and branding expert. Because Darin has the most creative ways to market your home, your listing, your property. He brings more buyers faster to get your home sold for more money. And he's got great programs like the Buy One, List One Free program. You've heard me talk about it. If you're maybe thinking about selling your home and moving into another home, hire Darin on the purchase side, on the buy side of your new home. He will list your home for free. He will not take a commission from you. Learn more. Call Darin James, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Buying or selling, Darin James.
Think real estate, think Darin James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Mike!
Yeah?
Saints coverage with some Mad Libs mixed in.
Why don't you just go by Mike?
It's time to talk black and gold with Mike Triplett of New Orleans Football.
Yeah, I mean, it took Musa like a year and a half to get the Mike Triplett intro, but you delivered, Musa. You delivered. But look, I'd love this song, but kill it. Look, we're going back to London. Please set the mood. Let's be appropriate here. Let's honor Her Majesty, the Queen.
Well,
may she rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean,
may she rest in peace. We are honoring her memory.
Okay.
And we are saluting His Highness King Charles.
Charles III.
The Third. Got it. Mike Triplett is there in jolly London town. He joins us now. How are you, sir?
Was Like Mike new this week? I didn't hear Like Mike last week. Is that a new edition?
No, it was there.
Yeah, it was shorter,
but
Mike.
I think it was shorter, and I think I stepped on it because
that was the highlight.
I wasn't anticipating it last week because that was the first time I'd heard it, and I didn't know that it was on the back end, and it was a slow. And I think I told him, I was like, you got to have a longer tail on there. So, but yes, it was good, isn't it?
Oh, Like Mike is so good.
It's so good.
I've thought about this everywhere. I've heard songs in the last 2 years that we've been thinking about theme music that's never going to come. I've been like, oh, that would be good. And then I kind of forget. And then I'm like, should I text Matt that I want this song? No, I'd be an egomaniac. But Like Mike is better than anything I ever came up with.
What were some of the other ones What were some of the other ones you came up with?
Well, I'll tell you one I like that's on my, I run a lot, and that I like to raise. The Dog Days Are Over. It's like Run Fast for Your Mother, Run Fast for her. There's a good, drum beat, and I'm like, that one's really good, and The Dog Days Are Over would be good, if the Saints ever get off a losing streak. That was one that I thought of recently. So we'll mix that one in. But Like Mike, that's it. I'd buy it.
I like it. Okay. Are you tired, by the way?
No, yes, I have been at different parts of this week. This is a good time for me right now, though, because it's 11:15 here.
Well, it's actually 11:20. It's 11:23 because we called you late.
Okay, I'm more of a night owl. I'm more of a night owl by nature. We had a long day. It's a little longer than our usual Thursdays because we are relocating to the Saints Hotel and doing the interviews one at a time instead of open locker room. Ubering back to the hotel, doing our work. So I got my work done tonight, got in an exercise, and got to the lobby for dinner at 10:20 when the kitchen was closing at 10:30. I feel bad about that. I hope they're okay with that. I don't know if that's rude in England. And then got up to my room after finishing some exercise and some dinner. So this is about the best I've felt all week, right here in this exact moment.
Well, this is wonderful. You sound spry. I'm excited about it. Let's start with let's start with the obvious one. So no Jameis today. Are we expecting Andy Dalton's going to start on Sunday?
I mean, that's the right bet to place. Nobody will say it officially. Jameis Winston certainly doesn't want to rule himself out. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to backtrack before I answer your question. Nick and I made this point on the podcast. We both heard James Hurst say this at the same time. And I made a mental note of it. And then he brought it up, and I was going to tell you the exact same thing. You have to mention that in your rundown. Where James Hurst had a big smile on his face, and he was talking about how inspired they are by Jameis, that he's fighting through this, and he's a warrior, and he's a competitor. And I'm like, these are all the same things you would hear an offensive lineman say about Drew Brees or any other quarterback, probably what they're saying about Justin Herbert right now with the Chargers. And it's like, maybe we need to give Jameis a little more credit. We're all like, oh, you're 92%, you need to be benched. And it's like, this is the, courageousness that we credit in a lot of other quarterbacks. And he has those same qualities. Jameis is an alpha. Jameis is I don't care if you have to put duct tape on it. I'm going out there. But obviously it's up to, coaches and trainers to be like, well, you're going to hurt the team if you go out there. And I think in week 3, after seeing that the back is not necessarily getting better, and I think more even than affecting his passing, the fact that he can't run and that defenses now know he will not run, I think it is hurting the team a little bit. And I do think the right situation might be not performance-based, but we'll get you back out there when you're healthy, because this is not doing us any favors when you're not healthy. So that's what I'm guessing. But maybe if he takes the right shots and puts on the right padding, I mean, it is still his job to lose, and he hasn't lost it yet based solely on performance.
What else? Look, Mike, I look at the injury report, and it's extensive. I mean, it's like it's half your starters.
53-man roster.
Right. It's half your starters. So what am I supposed to make of that right now when you're going into this game at 1-2 that feels massively important?
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as the length of the names. It is important that Michael Thomas has not practiced all week, and when a guy doesn't practice Wednesday or Thursday, I'm usually pretty skeptical. So I'm pretty skeptical that Michael Thomas will play. I'm a little skeptical that Marcus May will play, because we have not seen him actually on the field. He's working off to the side with trainers. But I think everybody else on that list is going to play, including Jarvis Landry, including Traquan Smith and Andrus Peat, who left with concussions, including Taysom Hill and Deontay Hardy, who didn't play. So I don't think it's as bad as all the names you're seeing imply. I think it'll be a relatively healthy. But Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas don't play. Those are big ones.
Mike Triplett is with us, by the way, NewOrleans.football. Does this offense just stink? Do we just have to realize that they're just not going to be good this year?
I've come closer to that evaluation than I was a week ago. I mean, a week ago I was saying, I look at Michael Thomas and Jarvis. First of all, Michael Thomas and Chris Olave are both playing great.
Yeah.
It's impossible to marry how well they're playing with how bad the offense looks. Alvin Kamara was fantastic all summer. There is no indication that he's lost a step. I do think, their quarterback play is now C- level by NFL standards. I think their offensive line play might be B- level now, and those are two things that used to be special.
Yeah.
But a week ago, I said, there's no way this offense can't score 23, 24 points every week. How can they not line up and have 2 touchdown drives and 3 field goal drives every week? And then when I saw them not be able to come anywhere close to that in Carolina, I'm like, I guess maybe they can't, and I don't know exactly what that is. I think a healthy Jameis is better than an injured Jameis. One of the realizations we came to this week was when Jameis was doing really well last year and he was only throwing for 180 yards and he wasn't turning the ball over, he was running the ball a lot. It was one of his best assets. When his first 2 reads weren't open, he took off running and he moved the chains a few times a game. And that is completely eliminated from his game right now. So maybe a healthy Jameis, if he gets healthier, or Andy Dalton, if they switch to Andy Dalton, maybe that adds just a little bit more, 2-3 more first downs a game. Obviously, I don't expect the running backs to fumble every week, which they've done so far. And one of them was a game-changing fumble. Alvin Kamara doesn't fumble. They might win that game.
Mark Ingram at the 10-yard line against Tampa.
Yeah. So, those penalties were so uncharacteristic last week. I don't think all of a sudden this is a Saints team that can't put 12 plays together without a penalty. But, I mean, it's just hard. They need to be close to perfect, and they're anything but right now.
But the defense has been really good.
Yeah.
How does the defense match up against Minnesota?
Well, every podcast conversation we've had, we've been like, all right, here's 48 minutes on everything we're worried about, and with 2 minutes left. Oh, by the way, you think of they're playing the Minnesota Vikings this week, and Justin Jefferson is one of the biggest threats in the league, and the Saints have a guy who's playing cornerback as well as anyone in the NFL right now. Marshawn Lattimore is on fire, and last week so was Bradley Roby. DJ Moore, who is supposed to be a pretty good receiver in this league, had 1 catch for 2 yards last week. And Robbie Anderson only had 1 catch, too. Now, Baker Mayfield, that's another story.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston was not the worst quarterback on the field last week. But Marshawn Lattimore is playing lights out right now. And if he's going to shadow Justin Jefferson, I'd buy a ticket just to watch those snaps.
So what's a realistic expectation for this defense against Minnesota?
Well, Minnesota can light you up every once in a while, which is scary. Like Carolina, the one I kept thinking the Saints were going to come back because I was like, I don't think Carolina's ever going to cross midfield. I was looking at a lousy offense, and then they obviously had that one play. I mean, they win the game on 2 plays: the fumble return for a touchdown, which was their defense scoring, and then the missed tackles by P.J. Williams and Tyrann Mathieu, where they get that quote unquote cheap 67-yard touchdown that they didn't have to fight for. But Minnesota, they can score a 67-yard touchdown. Dalvin Cook can run for a 67-yard touchdown. Justin Jefferson can break loose for a 67-yard touchdown. If they get to the red zone, Adam Thielen's as good in the red zone as anyone in the league. So this team's scary. This is a team where you're going to have to score points. Maybe your defense is going to be the one that comes up with the game-changing play, not just we stopped him, we forced him to punt, we stopped him. Maybe the defense is going to have to score or turn the ball over in Saints scoring territory because this is a team that's not going to be held to nothing. But I'm a little surprised at how inefficient they've been the last couple of weeks. I mean, Minnesota's offense looked lights out in week 1, and they haven't been the last 2 weeks, so that's not a perfect team either.
I got asked about Will Lutz as well. As big a deal as it was a year ago not having him, Mike, he's missed a kick in each of the first 3 games. I mean, what's going on?
I know. Well, he missed 2 this last game, so he's 3 of 6 total, but 2 of them were in the same game. Is that right? Or did he? He didn't miss one against Tampa, did he? I'm drawing a blank now, but he has missed at least 3. And you're right. I mean, that's one of those things that kicking is so crazy. I mean, it's like he's one of the best in the league. He had a great training camp. He kicks the game-winning 51-yarder in week 1. But then he misses 2, 1 blocked, and he's got a block, he's got a wide right, he's got an off the left upright, and you're just like, you just feel snake bit when that's happening because you wouldn't trade him for another kicker. But I think there might be a lot of pressure on this team too. I mean, everything is so magnified right now. Every 48-yard field goal attempt feels like life or death, and that's no way to live.
Yeah. He was 1 of 1 against Tampa, a 31-yarder. So he didn't miss against Tampa. My apologies.
No,
okay.
That's all right. But you're right. He's averaging 1 missed kick per game.
So he's missed 3.
Technically right.
All right. So before we let you go, and again, Mike Triplett on Twitter at Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. I don't know if you can still use the code TRIP to save 10%.
You know what?
If they're
I
all
found
used
out
up.
after the fact that last week you could still use it, but now I don't think you can.
SOL, I tell you what.
You know what? I think there's a Firehouse Subs promotion still going on. I heard Nick say that in the last podcast. But you know what? We're worth full price. We're worth full price. That's my ad slogan.
Okay. We're worth full price. We're charging a premium because, damn it, we're worth it. Okay. Let me finish with what I kind of talked about at the beginning, which is this being a massive game. And how do you put into context at 1-2 and what's ahead, how big this game is for New Orleans?
I'm not calling this one a must-win game in and of itself. But if you don't win this one, then you fly home for the entire full day of Monday, and you land back in New Orleans like sometime Monday, you sleep all day Tuesday, and you wake up and you've got a must-win game at home against Seattle. And frankly, maybe a must-win 2-game homestand against Seattle and Cincinnati. The pressure it puts on the rest of the season becomes enormous if you don't win this one. So you can come back from 1-3, but you leave your entire margin for error back in London. So this, and the exact opposite feeling. If you fly home 2-2 with 2 home games coming up, you feel like, all right, we've sort of weathered the storm. Now we can settle in. And I mean, that's a huge difference between 1-3 and 2-2.
He's Mike Triplett on Twitter at Mike Triplett, NewOrleans.football. Get there, check out all the content. We appreciate it, man. Safe travels home.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, man. Be well. And Mike, he's joining us live it's 11:35 p.m. In London. We do appreciate it for jumping aboard. All right, it's after further review. We'll continue.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. Had lunch with Matt and Paul from River City's 1 Hour Air yesterday. Actually went to Ichiban, dined on a Moscona roll. It was lovely. And we are getting close. I think next week they're going to start the preseason heater safety checks. So that's coming. I mean, the weather's getting nicer. We seem to be through all the impossibly hot weather. So it's time to start thinking about that heater as well. And remember, you'll always get great service from River City's 1 Hour Air. Michael Jones left this 5-star Google review. Justin, the technician, came immediately on Sunday afternoon. It was 90 degrees. He's the only home service person to ever give a bag of dog treats for me to my 2 dogs. That won me over. He was super. I could tell River City's 1 Hour, they're customer-oriented and way ahead of the competition. Quality service in every way. Justin answered questions, taking time to explain what he did and why. It's friendly and awesome. That's River City's 1 Hour Air.
Come on over to Corval Toyota in Opelousas and meet with one of our sales specialists to build your new Toyota. It's easy and stress-free. Or if you're looking for a pre-owned, we have a wide variety. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
Dad!
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well.
Yes!
It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water.
Miller Lite has more taste.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I'd play in trash bags. I really don't care what we wear out there.
God, that's the greatest answer ever. I love Joe Burrow so much. Like, I might be in love with Joe Burrow. R.I.P. Coolio. We were sitting there at Oliver Twist last night doing scone and tea, and someone put in the comments during the show that Coolio died. And I thought it was one of those, like, did Joe Rogan die? And I Googled. I was like, sure enough, man. Coolio dead at 59. Dangerous minds. We'll always have it. 59. How did he die? Did they say? I didn't read any stories on it.
They think cardiac arrest. He was at a friend's house, went to the bathroom, and never came out.
Oh, man. 59. R.I.P. Coolio. Yeah, I love Joe Burrow. God, I love Joe Burrow. I don't think I've used that phrasing since Alvin Kamara's rookie year, when I called Alvin Kamara my boo thang. Why are you laughing? Like, that's... I get it. I get it, yeah. I just fell in love with him his rookie year. He was just so dynamic. I love the passion, the skill set, everything. I loved it. Play the Joe Burrow cut again, please.
I'd play in trash bags. I really don't care what we wear out there.
For everyone who makes such a big deal. And by the way, Burrow's walking into the stadium. Did you see what he was wearing?
So good.
That's not so good. That's
It's
hideous.
so good.
It's hideous, but it goes to show you he really doesn't care. He's wearing a suit it's like a flower patterned suit. Like not like gigantic flowers.
He pulls it off. That's why it's so good.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Absolutely, he does.
Musso, that looks horrible. Nobody
on a normal person.
Hold on. Nobody pulls that off.
Joe Burrow does.
Musso, like, please stop interrupting me. Okay. Nobody pulls that off. Put it back up there. The only thing that works about this is you're confident. You're confident enough to wear something that looks so stupid. And so you're like, okay, he looks so stupid, but he's so confident looking so stupid. I'm good with him looking so stupid. That's what that is. Okay, now, sorry.
I love it. So good. Okay. He pulls it off because of the confidence. He pulls it off. I couldn't pull that off. You could pull that off.
This is maybe just a semantic argument. His confidence doesn't make the suit look better. It makes me not think he looks ridiculous, is the confidence. It doesn't make the suit look better. There are certain people who shouldn't wear certain things because of their physique. I should not wear spandex.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I could never pull that off, right? It's similar. Like, there are some things that are just made for people who are built certain way. Like, nobody can pull that off. That's just terrible. It's a terrible, terrible suit. But I love Joe Burrow. As much as we've talked about the stupid jersey numbers that people care about, or alternate uniforms, or this or that, just go play. Whatever you wear, wherever you play, whenever you play. Like, if you got that dog in you, just go be that dog. What's up with the X-rays now with the dogs? I mean, I get it, right?
The dog in him, man.
I get it. That's
meme culture, Matt.
I mean, I guess. How do we feel about the white helmets?
I love them. I love them.
I hate them.
I wish they wouldn't have changed the white jersey as much as they did, but I love the uniform. I think it's fantastic.
What did they do with the white jersey?
So on the shoulders, they added the black fill-in. There used to be more orange accent to their orange jerseys last year, and it would have looked better. I still think they look very good.
Well,
but
they're wearing all white, though, right?
Right. Yes, but like on the white jerseys last year, it didn't have the black fill-in on the shoulders. The numbers were trimmed in orange. It just
there's no orange on this.
It looked better with that. Straight black and white didn't. isn't great.
But I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah. I mean, I love the helmet, though. Would have been better with last year's jersey.
Can you imagine if Bob Broad had gotten his way and LSU had gone to those? You know, in the 80s, LSU had a mock-up of the Tiger Stripe helmet.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. No, when Bob Broadhead was the athletic director, like, this is a fact. He had a mock-up of that helmet done in purple and gold. No. Like, that is a fact. That's not a fabricated internet thing. Bob Broadhead. I mean, Bob Broadhead has a book, Sacked. And he writes about it in there. So yeah, no, that was a thing that almost became a thing. Ooh. So anyway, it is Bengals Dolphins tonight. Burrow against Tua. Here was Burrow talking about Tua.
Yeah, I mean, we've been around each other. He texted me when I got injured, and I texted him when he got injured, and so we've stayed in contact since we played against each other last. Yeah, he's playing well. It's exciting to see. All the quarterbacks in our draft class have been playing well, and that's always exciting to see. The more talent, the better.
Tua said that he's got a lot of respect for Burrow. Similarly, of course, they played in that great game in 2019 at Bryant-Dennehy Stadium where LSU beat Alabama. The other underlying story here, of course, is Tyreek Hill against Eli Apple. It was Eli Apple who made the tackle on Tyreek Hill last year when he was with the Chiefs still. And they get to they've been spatting on social media a lot. And Tyreek Hill had this to say about Eli Apple.
Looking forward to the challenge. It's going to be fun, and I can't wait to go against Eli Apple, man. I owe you, boy. I owe you. I'm here. The cheetah is here.
I owe you, boy. You call a grown man boy, you better be able to walk that walk. All right, we're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. So Thursday Night Football tonight, I'm fired up for it. Should be a really good game. Excited to see Joey B, Jamar Chase, all the guys in prime time. We'll get a pick from the Otter coming up. Let me remind you about South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. That's southpointvw.com. 9 different IIHS top safety picks. That's South Point Volkswagen, the safest vehicles on the road that are stylish, they're fuel efficient, they perform like luxury, they feel like luxury, but they're affordable. Put that extra 30 G's in your pocket and drive a Volkswagen. It's South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, let's knock out our final break of the show. Come back and do Otter Locks. Get a pick on Thursday Night Football from the Ottfather himself. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, remember, you can call Insurance Network of Louisiana and let them shop for free independently to find you better coverage for less money. In the last year, obviously since Ida, there have been a lot of insurance companies that have left the state of Louisiana. If that's you and your insurance provider has left the state and you were left without insurance, call Insurance Network of Louisiana. They've got plenty of these relationships, and they've dealt with this with so many Louisianians that have had this problem, and so they've got the expertise to help. They'll know the calls to make and the companies to refer, and they'll get you squared away. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana, 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or online at lainsurance.net. This is completely free. There is no fine print. They shop independently for free to find you better coverage for less money. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable, the Alvin incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Doing great, Matt. How about you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to Thursday night football. A little Burrow versus Tua should be a good one. Where y'all are at Jolie Pearl, yeah?
Yeah, Jolie Pearl every Thursday through the end of football season in January. So myself, Annie, soaking up this great weather.
I was about to say,
man,
edition
of Jolie
Otter,
Pearl.
I was about to say, man. I know last year there was a week where you were out, and I went and did the show with Roscoe, and they had the door open right there at the front. It was just, I mean, it's such a great spot right there in downtown, especially when the weather's nice like this.
It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. So, I heard Musso earlier today. Boom!
I mean, how does my guy not recognize that's a gunshot?
So, I mean, geez, just firearms. Here we go, baby.
I mean, Otter, just to clarify, because someone did text, like they're like, the show was like, what was the gunshot? So we were doing a what to watch for segment, and I said, Moose, just give me a transitional sound effect. So we go from me to Moose to Paulie. We just have a sound effect, and he played again. And somehow he doesn't think that's a gunshot. It's a gunshot.
Hey, remember the game day where it was at the Cotton Bowl? And Corso's picking at Texas, Oklahoma. And they give him the gun. He's got the boomer schooner on his head, and he shoots it. I can see Musso. Where's Musso with the chuck wagon on his head? Boom!
The visual was so good. All right. What do we got? We got about 90 seconds. What do we got?
All right. And I also heard him in all seriousness bring up a very good point about teams that are undefeated against the spread. Man, you got a team that's 3-0 straight up, 3-0 against the spread, just beat the Super Bowl favorite, and they're catching more than 3.5. And I'm used to a much better number in this spot. So it tempers my enthusiasm on Cincinnati. But the thing is, Matt, and Cincinnati has not looked like they did last year. And, they've got to adjust. And we know about the offensive line struggling. Burrow's been hit. But the explosive plays, haven't been. They missed a tackle. They just missed a tackle on Boyd. And that in the box score looks like an explosive play, but kind of wasn't. But, man, listen, 90 snaps for the defense in South Florida. And now they got to get up, travel, play in a short week again where you're already compromised. That's an awfully tough spot for Miami's defense tonight against Cincinnati. So I'm going to stick with Cincinnati.
1 minute remaining.
I guess I shouldn't say it like this. We're going to go with the Bengals. Boom!
You're gonna lay the 4. Otter, is there? I know we're short on time, but is there any research behind the amount of times that a road team covers on Thursday Night Football? It just that quick turnaround to travel is just miserable.
It was massive early, and then it kind of reversed its trend for a little bit. But it's still it's factored into the line.
Okay.
I mean, if this game was Sunday, this game would be 2.5 or 3.
Okay.
So it's already factored into the line a big way. That's why it tempers me a little bit. So that's all right. Joey Burrow, baby.
Thank you, Otter. All right.
on,
Game time with Jimmy Hahn follows up. He's so stupid. Just listen to Jimmy. All right. Well, Muse Paulie, thanks. See ya.
AFR.
All right, as we get on down the road, I got to remind you about Mold Zero USA. As a matter of fact, I had a buddy text me earlier today. Said, hey, I need you to remind me who are the people that do the mold mitigation. Mold Zero USA. Online at mold-zero, Z-E-R-O, spell it out, mold-zero-usa.com. This is a patented, non-toxic, dry fog treatment. You will only be inconvenienced out of your house for as long as it takes to dry, which is about a couple of hours. Call Jim, have him explain the process to you. They'll give you a free estimate, and they service the entire greater New Orleans and greater Baton Rouge areas, including the North Shore. So go to the website, mold-0usa.com, and you can see the phone number for Baton Rouge and for New Orleans, mold-0usa.com. No demolition. This is safe for your family. Get rid of mold and odors forever. Mold Zero USA. Mold-0usa.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This summer, meet Acura's heroes of performance. Only available at the Acura Summer of Performance.
This summer, visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the MDX.